We are back. Welcome to episode 4 of Level Up Unlimited. Today with me we have Fryman,
Hey, what's up, guys?
Damn Dirty Dave,
Hey guys, glad to be back.
and our special guest, Dale. Dale, how are you today? Wait, where is Dale? He must be gone. So he dropped his call. Sorry about that, guys. But today we're going to jump into speaking about a few things. And first of all, we're just going to kind of explain why we haven't uploaded in a while. Just scheduling and communication errors, basically. And which one are we going to talk about today first? Warhammer or Gears? You all just choose.
Probably
Uh,
Warhammer.
yeah. Let's go right to Warhammer. That sounds good.
Okay, I'll let I'll just go start out with the price of it was like $35.99 with gold, and the developers were Fat Shark. And what is some of your thoughts about this game?
Well, I was on a beta for this game, and it was really good. It was a really great first impression. I like the little tutorial got into it. I think you start off with the archer class with two daggers, right? What was the name of that class? You remember?
The
Curiosity.
Way Watcher.
Yeah, Way Watcher. That was a really fun little tutorial. It kind of shows you how to use it and how to use the items and how to switch between the weapons. Really cool, really smooth. Great transition and going into the co-op. So I was pretty happy with it.
Uh,
I liked all the different characters, different classes you could choose. If you're more into the magic, you can pick like the I'm drawing blanks on the names, but
Bright Wizard.
yeah, what is it?
The Bright Wizard.
Yeah, that chick. Or the goofy guy that I used with the big top hat and the pistols
That would
and a horrible sword.
be the Witch Hunter.
Yeah, the Witch Hunter.
Basically, we played this game last night, all of us together, and it's still got a couple of issues that they need to fix. But all in all, it's a good game. If you like Left for Dead, zombie wise, just imagine giant rats like giant splinters from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's a great game.
And that, yeah, they have very similar things. Like the ogre rat was just like the ogre, or the,
Really, like he hulked out. Seriously, go ahead.
yeah, and then like the pack rat would grab you and run off with you, and the rattling gun had a Gatling gun on him, and
Gatling gun, yeah.
yeah, then you had the runners, which was like the pouncers, basically. They would
Yeah,
jump on you.
those were the assassins. They just jump on you, they pin you down, and you had to have somebody knock them off of before they killed you. So yeah, they were pretty tough sometimes.
I think my favorite ones was like the big fucking ogre rat, man, because you never know when it was gonna come, and
Well, you
it
heard the
turns the
music.
gameplay upside down. You know.
You heard the music. It had a little, like a weird music to it when it was going to happen.
I don't
Yeah,
even pay attention to the music, so I just know when it's time to kill, bud.
kill him.
Kill. Yeah, but the beta seemed to play way better than the actual game.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
kind of a disappointment when it come out. There was but the first week was it was always going to be a little bit because everybody's actually into the game. Some didn't even get to the beta. I know they did that. You can buy other people thing. I think was that how it was in Moss? You can buy others.
For Warhammer, no, it was just download and play.
Yeah, download
Beta.
and play.
That was for Honor.
Oh, it was completely open. Yeah, it was completely open. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, as long as you had Go, you can actually play that and just download it. You just have to search for it.
And uh, let's talk about the dice rolls, which we had a lot of big problems with after the game come out. The game would crash at dice rolls, and you wouldn't get your loot.
Yeah, for some reason, like every time like you beat the level, it will go to like a loading screen for a second, and then like right before the dice roll, it would just like crash. The game would crash itself. I don't know. That could be. Keep in mind that could be an Xbox issue or a network on their side issue. There could be a lot of factors that can contribute to that. We just know that it was consistent while playing this game. That being said, um, we didn't see it happen the last time we played, but we did see where Dave actually disconnected his on it mid game, so that's
Twice.
unfortunately it's still there. So yeah,
Within like a 20-minute period last night. And I think that's the reason we was finally like shit on it. We're done.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, I don't know if Dave has, but I know me and Fryman have kind of messed with the forge and the shrine. You want to kind of,
Crafting.
yeah, it's basically you take the weapons, you can like forge 5 weapons to get one better weapon, or you can take and upgrade them, or through the shrine, wasn't it the trinkets?
Yeah, it was like the traditional Diablo style. You would break lower grade or higher grade materials that you didn't need from other classes to make similar quality items for your class to get better materials. Like for example, you would take so many green weapons, break them down, and get green materials to make one blue weapon. And I thought that was a pretty cool little thing they did with that. So I was really happy with the crafting system.
Okay, and we'll just kind of jump into the modes. It was just the adventure mode, which it was like you got set on a basis of you got your map and you go through it and you play. And then you had Last Stand, which was, I guess, almost like Horde, but not done as well. What was your thoughts on the two modes?
If you want to take this, Dave, or
I boys, the only one I played was with you guys. Like,
yeah.
like I
Well,
never got.
let's see what Dale has to feel about this.
Oh, I remember Dale jumped out on us, and we'll try to get
Oh
we'll try
yeah,
to get him back in the call here in about a couple minutes and see how it is. I'll message him as we're
Damn
doing
it,
this.
Dale.
Dale, damn it.
Damn you, Dale. uh, I'm sorry for giggling. Well, let's each talk about when we played. We all kind of had a set character. We'll each talk about the character we used, and we'll start with Dave, Mr. Top Hat guy.
What was his name anyway, dude?
It was Victor's Salt something. He was a
The
witch
I
hunter.
got two guns, one for each of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Man, y'all hated on him, but I liked him. He had the big sword that cut him in two, and then he had the dual wielding pistols.
It wasn't you. It wasn't basically the guy. It was just basically every time we got in a match, whoever played as that guy was fucking horrible.
Yeah,
See,
they always played as a tank. Like they was always up front, and we've always had to pick up people. Yeah, he looks awesome, and yeah, he's got the traditional pistols. I mean, everybody's gonna be more attracted to that because it's I can see younger kids, kind of going right for that class. He looks cool, but I don't know, man. It's just God, it was rough.
see the way I played it. I always played as the backup role. Like I always kind of lingered toward the back in more of a team direction instead of going head on with things.
Right.
Certain characters you can't do that with.
Mm-mm.
And Fryman.
Yeah, I play with the Bright Wizard. She's actually really versatile. I mean, depending on what staff that you got, you can do different stuff. Like you can get like a staff that would shoot the balls of fire really fast, or you can get a different staff that would make a radius of an AOE area of effect really big and take out multiple rats at once. And there was some of them that were like it would like leech, like a laser, and it would stay on them. It was more of a damage over time kind of thing, so it was great for single target. Um, and yeah, and then the swords she had like a one-handed or was it two-handed? It might have been two-handed, but she's always used the sword as a defensive because the ogre, and I would put on like the trinkets or the actual enchantment on the sword to push back, take more damage. So it was pretty cool. You can do all kinds of stuff with her. I like the different stuff you can do within the game with abilities and the weapons and stuff.
And I played with the Way Watcher, which her weapons was the bow and arrow and the dual daggers, or like a single small dagger, I guess. Uh, she was more about the speed, I guess, for her attacks, and I really, which I know she was probably meant to be played back, but I played her up front like a tank, but it probably shouldn't be in that played that way. But that's just how I play. I Rambo everything. But I do have to say one thing about this game. This game is definitely a stay together or die alone type game.
Right.
because if you do not work as a team and you do not stay together, your chances are pretty slim to
Slim.
none.
Right.
Okay, let's jump into the rating. We're going to rate this 1 to 5 and kind of tell. Oh, well, before we do that, I jumped too far ahead of myself. Graphics.
Man, the graphics was outstanding. It was a beautiful game. I mean, really hit on. I didn't see any frame rate issues at all. No frame tearing. It was really tight. The weapons, the designs of the weapons, I really got to give props to the artists that done those. It's did a really good job, and I really feel like they took a lot of lore from other influences, towns. I don't know how they did the layout of some of these towns, but it kind of gives me that really fable kind of look to some of the areas. It's really really cool, and I don't know, it just really hit home for me on the actual art of the areas.
Right. So, Dave,
Well, it was, well, going back to a previous episode we did with Recore, the game was only $35, and the graphics were outstanding, and I thought the mechanics were pretty outstanding too. Until they did come back and change some of the buttons layouts over some of the newer updates, and I thought that was not necessary.
but I and
But
I enjoyed the button layouts, but once they switched them, it was a little as a hassle, I guess. But once you learn, it's not that bad. Dave hasn't got to play it much since it has came out. I mean, since it
yeah,
actually been
The
out.
update, yeah, yeah.
And me, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the. I thought the graphics were great. I mean, it's one of the best looking graphic wise games for a $35 game that you can actually purchase and play. Which this is just on Xbox, so if you see it on PC, it may be different. And I know you have a lot more to do on PC and have better frame rates and stuff like that, but we play it
Right.
on
right, better
Xbox.
wall jumping.
Yeah, Xbox One, yeah.
And so let's jump into the rating system. 1 through 5, everybody kind of tell your ratings and negative or positive if you want to.
Well, I wanted. My first impression was really good. I had the beta. I played the beta, and I played the beta for a long time. I think I got to like level 12 or something. So I played it real long. Jump into this game when it come out. Um, it was kind of the same, but there was I think the release did something. I don't know what happened with the beta. I'm at a 4, a pretty strong 4. And that's really good for this game, for this game because there's only 2 modes and no campaign. Keep that in mind. There's no campaign. So for a game like this to get a 4, it's really good, especially for the value of the money. But after coming into the game, release and then the title update, I don't know, but again, if it's just Xbox, but my overall game experience went back down to like a 3.5 on that, maybe a 3. So I'm between like a 3.5, 3 overall for me on this gaming experience. We played one game, and Dave here disconnected twice, and if that happens in a mid game when the ogre is out or any of these Ratling guns out, it's gonna make it really hard for other members of the team, and it's gonna cause a bad gaming experience. So,
It's hard to
um,
level up that way too.
Which,
right. And keep in mind though, you don't level up at all. You can go through the whole level, but if you don't make it to the end, it's all for nothing. You don't get anything. I mean, you get a little bit of experience, like 10 or something, but it's not even worth it.
which I
So
totally
that's
forgot. I totally forgot about it not having a campaign. That's how it doesn't play a big part in this game. You really don't have to have a campaign because it's just like Left 4 Dead. You go in and you play these little small, not small, I guess, but these maps, these set maps, and it's got different ways you can go through them and stuff.
right.
Which, okay, Dave, you
That's
want?
why. That's why
Oh,
it didn't even matter to me. That's why I gave it a strong 4. It didn't necessarily have it, but it would be nice to have like a little bit of some story maybe in between. When you're going into like loading screens, there is some stuff, but it's basically just mostly tutorials.
right.
So I'm back at a 3.5, unfortunately, with the game. So
Still need some
Yeah, I,
updates.
I, I
Yeah.
agree with the 3.5. For all those reasons. But for me, I'm gonna follow it just like I followed the Left 4 Dead games. I'm all about the campaign, man. Like for me to really enjoy a game, I need a campaign. Now, certain games like Ark, 7 Days to Die, things like that, like these build-up games, I really don't need a campaign for them. It would be nice though. I'm pretty big on the campaign thing, so I'm gonna say. Well, last night kind of pissed me off getting disconnected. I'm gonna say a solid 3. But but agreeing with Fryman, when we was first playing the beta, I would have gave it closer to a 4. But it has to be right around a 3 for me now.
Oh, I'm right on boards with you guys. The beta, I was super pumped. I know these other games are coming out, and we found this beta, and I was like, once this game comes out, I may not even touch some of these other games because of Warhammer. I'll be playing the shit out of Warhammer.
Right.
But now that we actually got the game, and you play it, and you have so many little bugs and disconnections and kicks and stuff like that, they just need some updates to fix that, and I'll be back. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll be back for that.
what
And
what does uh what does Dale think about it?
I'd
Yeah.
I'd have to
What
text.
does?
I'll text him and I'll ask him. Oh,
Oh,
he's trying to
Dale.
Skype his call back.
Oh, oh,
He's sorry guys.
oh,
Dial up.
Dale.
Ah,
Damn it.
Dale, he's gone again, guys.
Gone again.
God.
But yeah, I didn't even get to rate it. Dale interrupted.
Dale screwed it up.
Uh, Beta, I'm going to do the same thing Fryman did. I'm going to rate the beta and I'm going to rate the overall game. The beta, I'm 4.5. I loved it.
It was great.
And then I got the game. I may, since the game's been out, and it's been out, what? It came out in October. I can't find it. Forgot to write the date down. But it's been out early October, it seems like. And
About mid October, I think.
I
Yeah.
may have like 2 hours in gameplay now
Right.
because it's just,
That's same here. Same here.
and I'm gonna have to give it like a 3.5 for the final product because I know it's got to have some improvements done soon. But that's about all we got on that one. And then we need to step into some other stuff here. Our next thing we're going to talk about is Outlast 2 demo, which I guess you guys forgot about this, didn't you?
Yeah, I
No, not
did
at all,
actually.
sir. I didn't forget about it because this, yeah, it's good stuff.
Okay, with this, which from what I was understanding, the Outlast 2 demo was only going to be like a limited time demo up to download, and we all got to play it, which is a very short demo, but it just basically shows you what the mechanics of it is. And
It's enough. It's enough to scare the shit out of you, though.
Yeah, man.
a
I enjoyed it.
seasoned player that are used to mechanics in video games can be done with it in 10 minutes.
right,
Because you kind of, if you're used to gaming, you can go through and kind of follow the path that it wants you to do. But within those 10 minutes, you see some creepy, disturbing shit, man.
But if you take your time though and just look at stuff, kind of look at your surroundings, which that's kind of what I do. It takes me a little bit longer because I wanted to absorb and see what's going on. I want to kind of witness what am I missing? What's written on this wall? What's on this book? What's on this ceiling? I'm always that guy. So it takes me a little bit longer to see this stuff.
which
Um,
you haven't played the first one, right?
right, right.
So me and Dave
Yeah.
have. So that with us playing the first one and looking at everything, we kind of knew the feelings of what Outlast does. I about said Outcast. Giving a call out to Outcast there.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Something I can pour one picture.
But yeah, what y'all think of the graphics and stuff for this demo?
I thought that looked great, man. How many of you stopped at a certain part in the basement with the babies and the cross with the light coming through the cross?
I
That
st-
Yeah.
part got me, man. That was when I stopped. It was like, oh, that's some disturbing shit right there.
I was looking just to be dropped right there. I looked up and I'm just like, this is it right here. This is gonna be it. I mean,
It felt like the end of the demo moment, didn't it?
it did. But then you can keep going from there, and it was crazy.
I liked the corn field. That was kind of really cool. Like,
Running
it,
through the corn
yeah,
maze.
it kind
Yeah,
of
dude.
reminded you of like
Ki-
Jason Voorhees kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely.
It put me in mind of Children of the Corn, running
Oh
from those
yeah,
damn people, the pitchforks and stuff, and kids.
we have that happen all the time around our area, chasing children with
Yeah,
pitchforks.
that's all.
That's how we show love.
Okay, I know it's been a while since we played this, but I know this will stick in your head. What were your thoughts on the main scene at the end?
It
Man,
hurt my manhood, bro.
it did. And I'm just like, why, where'd it even come from? Where'd that person come from? And I'm just did not see it
Yeah,
Dale, Dale,
yeah,
Dale.
we are back. Dave's going a little crazy. He's pissed off at Dale. He joined the Skype call and it kicked us out. So we are back,
Dale.
and we are here to go ahead and finish up our talk about penis trauma and Outlast. But I guess Fryman can finish his thoughts if he remembers where he was at. If he don't,
Yeah, I'm good.
He got hit in the dick at the end of the demo. That's the
spoilers.
gist of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, Dale. Dale.
Okay, is this demo gonna make you buy the game?
Yeah, yeah. I love the first one, and the second one looks like it's kind of picking up right where that left off. So I was gonna get it anyway, but that definitely makes me more enthused about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Fryman agrees with a big yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh. We're sorry, guys. Dave's drunk and we called it. Uh,
Dale.
okay, Dave, jumping over to you. I'm not sure if we talked about this on the park episode or if it was on an episode we recorded that got squashed because of a lot of debating. Hashtag you not my podcast buddy. Uh,
Oh, the about Bama Boy and Madden.
yeah, we need to talk about some Bama Boy, and he was wanting to know what your thoughts on Madden was and what your favorite sports games was, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, Madden is basically the same thing it has been for the past year or two. I was really into it when I first bought it, but to be honest, I haven't played it in probably a month, maybe two. It's just the same thing's just getting old. Kind of like you played one Call of Duty, you've played them all. Same thing with Madden. You played one, you played them all. And with the favorite sports game of all time, it would be NFL 2K5. Um, it's what 11, 12 years later, and Madden still hasn't touched what that game did. The graphics are better, of course, but the gameplay and the mechanics are still
Hold up
head and
today.
above, like head and shoulders above. Dale.
Deal.
Yeah, damn.
Okay. What everybody has been waiting on, I guess, and it's kind of been a good old talk a couple times back and forth. Gears of War 4. We
Gears.
we are going to talk
Yeah.
about this as our first impressions and as what it's grown to after the updates and the title updates and stuff. So,
I just re-upped for the first time.
Level 100. Yeah.
Proud.
and the developers, Coalition, Microsoft Studios, price regular is $59.99, or you can buy it with a season pass for $99.99. Uh, okay. Thoughts?
You go
Well,
first, Raymond.
we were, we just jumped right into the campaign, right? Me and you did,
Yeah.
and one of the first things that every damn game does, unfortunately, is fucking robots. I call them robots, but
Shout out to my little
robots.
boy.
Shout out to that boy, love him. But yeah, robots, man. I mean, I guess it was going to happen, but not really much on. I'm just like how you feel about them. Wasn't really happy to see that. I mean, I understand why they did it in the story, and they're kind of used to. I feel like they're kind of used to replace the cog because they listen. There's been so much of those situations where Marcus kind of didn't do what he was supposed to do, went to jail or he left COG and all that. But and then now his son JD kind of did the same thing and just didn't do what he's supposed to do. And now they got all these robots kind of doing what this person does, which is a robot herself, and he went into that. And but I don't know, man. I just as the
The,
story progresses, it just becomes stale as far as
there was only
campaign
two
wise.
highlight spots in the game for us. As me and Fryman played it together, we didn't finish it because we could not. I mean, it wasn't that we could not finish it as in gameplay. It just wasn't compelling enough to hold us there to finish it. But the only two parts I think me and Fryman agree on is like the motorcycle part where
Yeah,
you're,
that
Best part
was
of the game.
yeah the motorcycle part. That was pretty fun.
and then like the, what was it, the wires that like shot up in the air. It was like
Yeah,
quick pace and
you kind of go Tarzan there for a little bit on these wires, and you gotta kind of go through this little area and kind of go evade these areas where they kill you and stuff. Um, but yeah, those are really cool things. I thought that was really good for them to bring that back. I know they did the whole krill thing with the vehicle, and you have to kind of avoid the krill as they were coming by you, and you got to drive that. What is that vehicle called? The vehicle. I know it's not a Warthog, it's Halo, but their version of the Warthog, and go through that city and avoid all that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool how they done that. So I'm pretty happy with it.
before we go anywhere else, this just reminded me of one tough thing I want to jump into and talk about on this game,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that you all have some opinions on it. Cross-play with PC.
The worst fucking idea that anybody's ever had.
Man,
If
I
you
mean, go ahead.
go ahead, Fallon. No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bubby. I mean, you probably you're going to say the competitive portion, and I'll touch on why I feel like they did it. But go ahead.
Yeah, like it. Can we all admit that it's unbalanced as shit?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I'm,
it's
I
it's
mean,
not fair if you own a console, man. Like the consoles are pointless when you're going against a team of PC players, or if let's say everybody except one person is on console and that one person is on PC, it's still almost impossible to beat that fucking team because you can't get a shot off of them. It's dumb as shit. It's like they're transporting. If you watch the movie Jumper, jump anywhere they want. That's what it's like.
well, I mean, I understand why they did it. They're trying to grab, they're trying to grab attention to some of those PC players out there to play the game. And when you buy the game, you can play it on your Xbox One or the PC, which is really a good idea. I applaud Rod Ferguson for thinking out of the box and trying to. But I don't think the cross-platform competitive play worked out because the average PC player, they're good by default compared to console players. But there is the concern is that we are hard capped on what we can do on the console because we can only turn so fast. I don't know about your guys' settings, but mine's turned all the way up,
mine's all the way up. My sensitivity's
and
Mine
all the
I
way
too.
can
up.
only I can only turn so fast when I'm trying to aim because now after the update you got to aim a lot more instead of having to shoot from the hip, which is another discussion we'll talk later on. But when you look at PC players, you watch them closely. They're not affected by that at all. I mean, it's just a swift of a wrist for them. It's so easy for them. You could tell they're not hard capped at all. They're so fast. It is ridiculous. So I don't think that was a good idea, and it kind of pushes me away as a Xbox One player to play this game. I feel like it's more of a PC game now
Which,
because I
if
don't know.
I'm playing Horde, I don't mind for them to be in there with me. It don't that I wouldn't mind for a
Oh no,
cross-play.
no.
But when you're actually going against a team and they're in there, it is so fucking hard. It's like a blur, like you're fighting a blur, and you can't do anything. And I don't know. But let's get
You,
back to
you can't trust the guy who builds train simulators.
Rod Ferguson. Yeah, it was a train wreck, that cross platform. Stole your joke.
Absolutely. I stole your fact, so you can steal my joke.
Did you want to go back to the
Yeah,
campaign?
that's where I'm going back to. I just had to
Yeah,
jump into that before I forgot about it before we jumped
yeah,
over it because that was one thing I really wanted to touch on.
absolutely.
Okay, go ahead and y'all
But
can kind of
but
rate.
yeah, the
We'll
campaign.
rate each section of it if you want to.
Like we did those interactive things, which is really cool. The bike, the rope ride and stuff, and then Animatus. What was one thing that stuck out like during out of nowhere they just kind of brought those spots? I mean, you mentioned there was like a horde they just kind of threw in there. How did you feel about that?
I dislike that. To me, I don't. If I want to play Horde, I go to the Horde game type. I don't want to be in a fucking tunnel somewhere and they give me a fortifier and there's like, get ready for wave one. Another wave's coming. I don't
It
like that.
just it just seems like laziness, kind of, don't it?
Yeah.
For real.
And I don't like how, like, Fryman said this last time we discussed this, that it didn't get uploaded. The way they presented the bosses.
Yeah, I mean,
Poof, they're there.
yeah,
Yeah.
these guys that come out and there was a lot of backstories. You know, these we seen the courier the way it was transitioned. We didn't have a lot of information, about the carriers or any of these new bosses that come out, any of the new guys. What is concerning to me is that I don't know how they're transitioning as far as Horde, because it looked like to me they put a lot of effort into Horde, and I'm really happy with the way they did Horde. But the campaign lacked a lot of, just really lackluster. The way they introduced the bosses, like Animosity said, they just like, here's a boss, fight it, kill it, Sometimes they'll say hint and be like, get the nades. But it just wasn't like those Gears 2 fights where you're fighting a lake monster when you have to shoot the teeth to try to do this, to do that. It was
No
just like
strategy.
gun 'em yeah, just no strategy, no real thought out, just kind of, you know, I don't know, it just didn't reach me as a Gears player. And I may be a little bit biased, but I just remember those older school fights, and not every Gears had. I mean, I don't expect to see those fights every fight. Maybe one or two. But at this point now, keep in mind, I didn't do the last fight, but I've read up on it. I haven't seen any fight like that yet. To me, It's not reached out to me. Even the Brumok we did was basically just like climb up on a ledge and press a button. That was it. So I don't know.
Yeah, the
Oh,
campaign was very hard to even play. It's like every time we got on, I was like, I'd just rather go play Horde or something, but I want to kind of finish this first podcast. Yep, I did not finish it, and it's been out a month now,
yeah.
and I still have yet to finish it because I don't want to, and I'm not going to.
Here's the concerning thing. They not only brought the horde section in the campaign not only once, they did it twice. It's just like Dirty Dave was saying. They just kind of just put it there just as a filler. It just really felt like they just didn't really put too much into it. Like they were just trying to fill in time, force you to do something just to get used to it. But I don't know. It just didn't really feel it, man. Just didn't really feel it.
Man, it's just the new generation of games is worry about multiplayer and throw a campaign together if you even have a campaign at all. And man, it kind of felt like that's what they did was just throw a campaign together right quick. I don't know, it bothered me. It
Yeah.
really did, man. Like me and my 9-year-old sat down and tried to get through it. And I remember when I was that young, things kept my interest pretty good, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm done with it."
To
Too bad you
me,
can't keep a 9-year-old interested.
right. To me, games has always been, it's always a great to have a good campaign, and a multiplayer was always a bonus.
Right.
Now it's kind of flipping. It's like we're going to give you this multiplayer that's top notch, and then give you somewhat of a campaign. But keep in mind though, I mean, the campaign was good, but but that was it. It fell flat for me. I mean, everybody else may feel different. Dale may has different feelings about it, but I don't know.
Well, Dale.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump over to talk Horde. Yeah, Horde is basically your standard Horde like all the other ones, but this one, it wouldn't, like on Horde in Gears 2, it was you set up and you had to protect yourself with just like shields and shit. 3, they made it a set spot, like you bought areas you bought into and you had certain places you can only place certain things. They all kind of added, like, switch that stuff around to where you can actually move your fortifier anywhere you want and you can put up your fortifications anywhere and in any way you want to. What what's some of y'all's favorite things about this and dislikes?
Well, one of the best thing about Horde is even if the robot thing didn't kind of work with the campaign as much, I really like it in Horde because it gives you a new thing, like a new experience.
I t-
Um, Out of all the games, man, I think this was my favorite version of Horde.
well, I liked this Horde too, but my problem is you remember in Gears 3, like when there was a Locust Hunter, which was like a torque bow guy. He looked different than the other Locusts, and now, but all these Locusts look the same, and you
Yeah,
can't tell if it's got the torque, if he's got the shotgun, if he's got the Lancer, hammer burst. You can't really tell what he's got.
Right. One thing though that I like they did though, I mean, the classes they really mean something now on Horde. I mean, they really made you feel like a little bit strategy can be used. Um, I mean, what do they have? Animosity. They have the engineer.
Engineer, heavy. Well, let's
Mm-hmm.
kind of tell you what's in each class. We have a
Okay.
sniper class. You start off with a sniper.
Scout. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the sniper rifle, long shot, a Marksa, and a pistol. No grenades. A soldier, what does he have? I've not used a soldier enough.
Soldier. He's more of the assault rifle kind of style. So he'll have the lancer.
I think a Nasher, wasn't it? Or was
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just standard stuff. Yeah. The lancer and Nasher.
okay. And the scout is the guy who gets like more bonuses for picking up the power to for the fortification. And he has a
Yeah.
Nasher and a retro lancer. An
Mm-hmm.
engineer starts out with the SMG gun. What's it called?
Yeah. The SMG.
What's it called?
Um, I'm not sure. You had
I'm,
to
I'm,
ask me that.
I'm
I play with them all the time, but you had to ask me that.
and yeah, and a heavy starts with a boom shot, and what is the other one? Weapon, Dave? It's a boom shot and
you
a
get the boom shot and the
lancer.
old school Lancer. Yeah,
Okay,
And with the engineer, though, he also has a repair gun as well by default.
and he gets cheaper fortifications if you play your cards right. You get certain cards to play to get better bonuses for each thing. I like that too. The classes do matter, and the horde was probably my favorite thing, but there's only so much that you can do on horde
Right.
before it starts feeling repetitive. I'm just glad that we got no beast mode this time. That's another
yeah.
thing. Beast mode was, I don't know. Uh, so there's about all we can really say about that. Just on horde anyway, because there really ain't much other you can do. Uh, Before we go into multiplayer, let's talk about the 2 new maps they gave.
Was it dry dock and checkout, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Checkout I like for horde. I do have to say that. But as in escalation players, we play escalation, the competitive mode. Uh, Checkout and Dry Dock was 2 horrible, horrible maps to have. I don't know
Right.
about for other match types. I mean, I played other match types. We'll get into the match types, but I wish they would have gave us something new.
Yeah.
They could have gave us one old one and one new one. I would have been fine with, but they just gave us 2 old maps and multiplayer. Well, let's talk. You want to talk about multiplayer or update first?
Well, we'll start with we'll start day one, and then
Okay.
we'll work way up to the title update. That's fine.
Okay. All right. With the multiplayer match types, you have team deathmatch. I never play. Dodgeball, I never play. Arms race, I never play.
You want to touch on what you kind of do in each one of
Yeah,
those,
well,
or
okay. Team deathmatch is your basic team deathmatch. I mean, we can't really go into detail about that because it's two teams fighting to a certain number. Only difference is in Call of Duty, you build up kills. It's like, oh, you got 50 kills to win. On Gears of War, you start out with this many and you delete kills or deplete them. That's the
yeah,
only difference. Dodgeball is you start out with a team of 5 on each side. You kill one enemy, and if they kill you, they get a respawn an enemy or a respawn a partner. It's
yeah,
basically you have to end up taking out their whole team. Arms race is gun game, whatever you want to call it.
yeah. From Call
It's
of Duty, yeah,
yeah,
it's like gun game.
you start out with a set weapon. The whole team
And if
does
you get
three
3 kills, you
kills.
move on to the next weapon.
Right.
Like after the team gets 3 kills.
With that weapon type, yeah.
Guardian was one of my old school favorite type match types, which me and Dave finally have kind of jumped in on that and played it a little bit. It's
Yeah,
you.
but
Go
two
ahead.
people kind of shit on it in 2 different matches last night.
Yes, Guardian. You have a leader, and as long as your leader is alive, you can respawn. Once your leader dies, there's no respawns. First team to 2 rounds win. Win 2 rounds wins the match. Uh, escalation. Oh no, not escalation. I want to touch on escalation last.
Execution.
Execution is you can down. It's a 5-on-5, no respawns for the round. If you down them, you can't lancer them from a distance and kill them. You have to be up on them to kill them.
Right.
King of the Hill, ring-based game that moves. You take the ring, it lasts 60 seconds, we'll say, I don't know, and you gain points for how long you hold it, and it moves from point to point. Warzone
Right.
is like Execution. You have 5-on-5, but you can kill people from a distance. This is a Lancer user's dream.
Yeah.
That's Escalation is what we all play the most in multiplayer. It is 5-on-5 ring-based game, sort of, but it's 3 rings, kind of like Domination. If you for your Call of Duty people, it's kind of like Domination. It's 3 rings, but as soon as you hold all 3 rings, if you hold all 3 rings at once, you automatically win. If you hold 2 and you get up to 210, you win. But each
Right.
round you get like the match starts with no weapons on the field, and the losing team next round gets to pick a weapon to place where they want. Kind of be
Power weapon,
strategic.
yeah.
Yeah, get to be
Hmm.
strategic with it. And Fryman, you sound went a little funny there for a second, bud.
Yeah, power weapon, yeah.
Uh, with that said, you go to first to 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
First,
first 7 rounds, yep.
first 7 rounds wins. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to touch on escalation. Oh, and each round the respawn times get longer, so it makes you kind of push on try not to die as much.
Hmm.
And let's see, that's all the game types that I can
Well,
talk about.
there's
But
also the little festival ones that they did.
oh yeah, the festival
Um,
ones.
there was the game type where there was no respawn timer for what was it during Halloween.
Yes,
Everybody had the what
pump
was it
pumpkin heads.
yeah, pumpkin head types, and you basically it's like dodgeball pretty much, but like a lot lower respawn timers. Pretty chaotic. It's pretty cool if you like that. And then there was also some kind of big head mode type, but it was like execution.
Right.
Um, and you have really big heads. They did that, so I think that's the only two they did so far. But
There'll be more. I'm sure there'll be
there'll definitely
more.
be some more. And they've also done an XP event as well, which is really cool for all those guys that like good, get some good experience playing some good game types. Um, but yeah,
Okay. What is? I'm sure. What is y'all's favorite match type besides escalation? We'll take out escalation
um,
because I
hmm.
know that's where we all play.
Well, that's really mostly all I play. To be honest, is escalation. If I had to choose another, it'd probably have to be maybe King of the Hill. just
Yeah,
because I'm
Kingdom
used
was
to
pretty
that
fun.
domination type,
Right.
used to the rings.
Now I really enjoyed Guardian, man. After playing a couple of things that if people would just not hide and spawn, that'd be really fun.
Yeah, Guardian. Excuse me. Guardian's fun as long as you don't have people who fucking sit back and spawn and hide. Oh, go back to escalation. My problem with escalation is people start losing rounds and they back out, and then you get
Right,
stuck on a 2-on-5 situation,
right.
in which I want to give a shout out to somebody. I'm sure they won't listen, but if you ever come across this, Dommy B, you've been trolled, buddy. Uh,
Yeah, fuck that guy.
yeah, he was being a douchebag. It was a 5-on-2 situation, and they pretty much just were being douchebags. And then the next match, we somehow ended up on the same team as them, 3 of the 5, and we trolled them so hard they got pissed, blocked us, cussed us out.
You can eat a dick. If he's your friend, you eat a dick too.
Okay, let's talk about some new weapons. Is like Buzzkill. Oh,
Mm,
Buzzkill is great for horde, but I don't think it's it's ideal or meta wise for competitive play, in my opinion.
okay.
agreed.
I'm the same way. I like it's okay on the horde, but I'm just not feeling it for uh multiplayer. Then we have what's another the drop shot.
Um, the drop shot. I mean, I'm personally not good with it. I
I'm
suck
not
with
either.
it horribly bad. But I've seen it used really good. It gets people out of cover. It can be used defensively or aggressively, to attack. So I think that was a good weapon to place in horde and also in competitive mode as well. Basically, what it does, it shoots out. You hold the R trigger, and it actually will kind of hover above the ground, and it will drop wherever you let off a R trigger at. So it can actually go over cover, bring
Right.
people out. So
Okay, you want to jump in? Let's just skip some of the weapons because some of them ain't that important and stuff. But we'll get
right,
to the update. The update has screwed a lot of things up for some players, and some it's helped. It has switched escalation into a fucking I don't know what. You the way they've nerfed the shotgun, the way they now it seems like more people use Lancer now than ever.
right, yeah.
It's rough. I mean, when you want to play give us a match type with
Uh,
Nashers only, please.
Yeah, that would be great. Um, but I wanted to kind of go back into the weapon shotgun, the title update. The update was really good. Overall, it was great. I know there were some issues with the loot boxes, which we really didn't touch on just
That's
yet.
what I was going to next. Is the packs and
Yeah,
the
yeah. And there was talks about the shotgun being real close, and I know they buffed the Lancer. But Byron, if you want to go right into the boxes, we'll kind of just bridge it.
yeah boxes. Like after basically your loot boxes kind of is for playing horde, playing multiplayer. You not only gain levels, you gain currency, and you can spend currency and buy loot boxes, which opens up a pack. Most of them have 5 cards, and you have a chance of getting like bounties, which you can play to get more XP or more currency, or you can get weapon skins and character skins. And while I'm talking about this, soon I will have. I opened up 72 packs that are recorded, and I'm going to post it to our YouTube page that we just created. It's Level Up Unlimited, all one word, space podcast, and you can subscribe on there. We should have some videos up with our podcast over top of them. And what was y'all's thoughts on the loot boxes?
Well, going into the game, day one, I thought it was awesome awesome idea. I haven't really seen many games do this yet, but I haven't really played many games that done this yet. I know that games like Overwatch and some of these other games have already been doing it. This was the first game that I actually saw it implemented pretty well. So I definitely applaud. Definitely, I know they did this last game as well with the last Gears, but for some reason I just really like this one overall better. My concern is that when this game was released, though, is that the RNG to get the stuff that you really want, like the skins, the different characters, the only way that you can get them, unfortunately, is these loot boxes.
What, Fryman, before you head on with that, explain to people
Right.
what you mean for our people who don't know what RNG stands for.
Yeah, it's a
Kind
random number generator, and is what I mean by that. It's basically just a luck of the draw to try to get the good stuff that you really want. Like, for example, if I go and with my currency buy like five, like save up to buy like I can either do like five, say, operation packs, which are 1,000 piece, or I can save up and get something guaranteed with an elite box. I've saved up before and didn't get anything out of the just mostly all greens, maybe one blue or two of operation packs. That was day one update. So it was really something to be worked on. There was a lot of talks about that to Rod about that, Rod Ferguson. Um, and after the title update, they did fix it. I do see a lot more better drops, but um, unfortunately, something that I didn't like though is the microtransactions, which is okay. It doesn't really change the game type or change the game, but like, I mean, I could see that it's help. It could be revenue for the game. But I just feel that you know maybe make it easier to get those skins that we can't get unless you. So for example, they got these esports skins. You can't get them unless you buy them.
20 bucks. Wait, was it 10 bucks or 20 bucks?
They were 20, but they got them on the sale right now for 10. Um, and you have to. I mean, there's skins out there that that I'm never going to get unless I buy them. I personally don't think that's right,
After
but
spending the $100 on the game, which when
right,
you got the season pass, you spent the $100,
yeah,
and then you should be at least if they want to charge for a pack. Say, well, Dave bought the $50 pack, the $50 one, right, Dave, or the $60 game, the regular price,
Yeah, the $60. Yeah.
which like they should give you one esports pack. Give the $90, the $100 ones two esports packs, and anything you want over that, you should then purchase if it's something like that. But they should
Yeah, I
at
agree.
least give you one. Like running the jewel shit, I didn't care for. That was fine. I didn't want it. Didn't even pay attention to
right,
it.
yeah.
So, do you want to get into the rating of the game overall, or just kind of rate each game type, like multiplayer, horde,
Well, before we
campaign?
actually go,
Okay.
before we're into that, I wanted to talk about the actual title update. With the shotgun, this is probably where I'm at with the game right now. Why I'm not playing it as much. Um, Rod Ferguson wanted to change the way the shotgun was being used. He didn't like, I guess,
The hip
they
fire.
nerf like what, like 10%, at least 10% damage within so much radius of the shotgun. So if you're so close to someone and you pull the R trigger without aiming, um, he changed the way those bullets actually come out of your gun. It's a lot less. It's more of a bigger spread rather than it being as condensed. So now, when you're up close to a player, you have to aim now instead of having to shoot from a hip like you would normally do. And
Right.
so we've kind of stepped back to like Gears One shotgun, basically, if you guys remember that. But I wasn't really happy with that move.
I wasn't either. I went in. I never hit my like in an up close battle in real life. Are you gonna pull the fucking shotgun up to your face to aim in? Hell no, you're
No,
not. And it's just you fire from the hip. That feels like more. Uh,
Or
you don't.
logical.
well, not
Yeah,
really logical. It's like more skillful. Like you feel like it should be more skillful to actually fire from the hip and move around, wall bounce and stuff. But when you aim in, it's like, oh, Motherfucker, it's automatic kill anymore. It's just
What I don't understand is why fix something that ain't broke, that's been working for years and years and years.
which another thing is they. I was gonna say, but I forgot. Fuck, I'm loopy. Oh, it's about the shotgun. Fuck, fuck it. Let's rate this motherfucker.
My
Okay, Kim.
original rating, yeah, my original rating on this game was a 4. After the update, it's a 3.5 now. And that's because the campaign is obviously hasn't changed. It's still
A piece of
flat.
shit.
Yeah, and I didn't finish him. Um, and Horde is still really good. No changes there. It's still really good and it's improved. So good job there. Escalation game type was great. Good game time. But the title update was good overall. Right, it was really good overall, I have to say. But because of the game type that I choose, which is mostly escalation, and I always love to use shotgun, my overall experience of the game has changed because of how I have to use the shotgun now.
How
So
he's making you
unfortunately,
play.
so now I have to change the way how I have to use the shotgun now. So unfortunately, I have to give it a lower rating because I don't feel that I should have to do that now.
Oh,
So and then mentioning also with the crossover, the cross platform with the PC players. I don't think that was a good move neither because now you can actually see how effective it is compared to their twist and turn their relentlessness to be able to twist and turn rather than our hard cap on console to twist and turn to shoot. So yeah,
uh, what I was going to say earlier was remember we had a big problem before the update of shotgun shots not registering. Like you could see the blood splatter but get no hit markers. And they said they fixed that in the update. I
They
still
did fix
have.
that.
I know that was one of their big fixes in the update.
yeah,
I
they
still
call
have that
it
problem.
yeah they call it sponging. It's like you're absorbing the bullets, but like a sponge. But basically, it's not your ammo's not registering, nor is your the damage indicator. And that's something I don't know. I think it's a connection server-based problem, as these are supposed to be dedicated servers, from what we're told. But I don't know.
Nope. That's just my opinion. Okay. Well, Dave, let's get here your rating on it.
Campaign had a few decent parts. The motorcycle and the big carrier thing was like the funnest shit. But same old gets repetitive. So I swear I hate to do this, but I'm gonna give the campaign like a 2.5.
It's
And
generous,
the horde is fun, but
repetitive.
again gets repetitive. So I'm gonna give horde 3.5.
What's
Multiplayer
what's your synopsis on it?
before my synopsis is this game. I don't understand why I play it so much.
Everybody,
But
tweet at Dave and say congratulations on re-upping. It's the first game he's re-upped on in the Gears.
Big
yeah,
congrats, Bubby. Yeah.
and the multiplayer, yeah, and the multiplayer
Yeah.
before the whole shotgun bullshit, and before every multiplayer match became who can lancer the most, I would have been happy to give it a 4.5. But I'm gonna give it a 3 now. So overall, this game is gonna be a three,
About a three.
maybe lower. Ask me after a shitty match, and I tell you it's a 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be like at first. Fryman heard me bitch and moan about this game. At first, we was playing all these other match types, and I hated the game. But when we found escalation, I started to find that love for the competitive part of it again.
Right.
And then they fucked it up by doing these switches for me because I hate to change my gameplay because of an update. So I stick to my guns and I die now more than ever. But I'm going to have to say overall, before update, I was like a 3.5, 4, and now after the update, I'm gonna give it a 2.5, 3. So it's dropped definitely after the update. So yeah, it's losing my attention right now. Which, from what I understand, everybody gets the maps also for the first month they're out, even the people that have season pass.
Me,
So Dave gets to play the maps, and then after that month, he don't get to play them anymore.
I don't care.
But let's kind of jump out of that, and let's just kind of talk about a couple of things that we talked about once before on another podcast, but it didn't get uploaded. We brought up once before. This can be brought up to any type of games anymore. All right. Does having to push out a game every year hurt gaming? Like Call of Duty.
Ah,
It's not obviously because people buy into it. I mean, I don't know why. Um, I really don't know why, but people really buy into it. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you look at maybe here recently, it's people are now starting to realize what's going on with the whole advanced warfare. People did not like how they still went even more into the future with the newest one versus Battlefield 1, which is supposed to be what people wanted. That's what the fans wanted. We wanted to go back and old school and maybe old school guns like World at War,
Feel
kind
like
of
you're actually
style.
living living
Yeah,
the past history. Kind of
I
feels like
think
you.
I think that you need to remember who got you there. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop shitting on the core gamers and
right.
remember which gamers bought those games when you first were getting big and stick with what works. Like the robotic shit, just because Titanfall did that,
Brobot.
don't yeah, robots and all that shit.
No,
Don't
Brobot.
change your robot and don't change who you are to get these new gamers and shit on your core gamers. That's the reason they're having trouble like late at night in these matches in Infinite Warfare. I read somewhere they're having trouble even filling lobbies right now.
Right.
Yeah, it's like anymore. You can look and like it seems like the target person for Call of Duty is an adult, but it's 10, 11-year olds that are playing it.
Yeah,
And on the flip side, you have Pokemon that's targeted at fucking 10, 11-year olds, and you have 20-year olds playing Pokemon Go. So,
Yes, Sun and Moon. Yeah, that's which little factoid on that. Sun and Moon has actually been one of the most highest selling games for GameStop all year long.
yes, it's the highest one. Like
So,
GameStop sales have went down, but those sales have been at the top all year long. So,
yeah, for GameStop. Yep. So that it really sounds like to me that it's becoming that part of the era for us where everything, if you notice, everything old is becoming new for us again. So if you notice, the reason why people bought into Advanced Warfare in the first place, the newer Infinite Warfare, I'm sorry, was to play was it MW2, Modern Warfare
right.
2, and lobbies are filled up on that one. And these remasters is coming out. Remaster of Skyrim and remasters of Borderland, and people buy those, and it's just because there's not,
Give us
you
anything
know,
new.
nothing new, nothing innovative that we're looking forward to. I mean, if you see, and I think it's because maybe they're running out of ideas, or I don't know what it is. Like, what was that No Man's Sky that failed hard? It just wasn't really the game that people were looking forward to. I mean, yeah, what they showed us at the conference there was it E3. Uh, wasn't really what the production final copy, and just it failed. Just it died out. Just was a horrible game when it released, and just
Right.
that's kind of what we're looking at now. And
you know you get
I
you
don't
get
know.
tired of failed promises, kind of like with Assassin's Creed. There was coming out the new game every year. The graphics, like, it became the same game every year, and that gets old. Infinite Warfare is basically the same thing as Black Ops 3.
Yep.
Why do you want
Double
to do
jump,
that?
boost
It
jump.
could it could have just been a DLC for it.
Hmm.
It's what they're going for now. I mean, I don't know. But do you all want to start doing some shout outs and
Did you want to do our gaming news? You mentioned about some of that stuff, or are we
uh
good?
yeah, well, I don't have any gaming news because
Right.
I couldn't. There's nothing that big. Like I seen the Mass Effect the new Mass Effect trailer, which I'm
Right.
excited for. I don't know if anybody else is.
Hmm.
Uh,
And you also mentioned about fracture butthole too. You said that if you actually buy that one, you get the copy of Sick of Truth for free.
right. And
Oh, that's cool.
I know we didn't get to talk about it last time, but Dave's been super bummed because they pushed back Friday
Friday
the
the
13th.
13th.
Then
Yeah.
we have Red Dead Redemption coming out, a new Red Dead, little spoilers. And
Um, they actually the other day mentioned that Crackdown 3 may actually make its third secondary release date that's been pushed back. They may actually meet it in February again. So,
the Final Fantasy game leaked in like Mexico, and everybody's been live streaming it. And
Twitch last couple of days, yeah,
yeah,
early. Um, Not to mention, what was it? Elder Scrolls 6 is actually going to be a thing now.
it's in the talks. Yes, Elder Scrolls 6 is in the talks and stuff. So,
it's still a long way from production. I
but
mean, it's still ways from now, but yeah, it's definitely something that's going to happen.
but
So
I
you're
mean,
happy to hear that,
well, I'm happy to hear that, but I never get my hopes too high because things can be squashed just like that.
right?
So
Absolutely.
no one go out and guarantee it and put a bet on it's coming out because you never can tell with the gaming world.
Mm.
That company may go bankrupt tomorrow. I mean, you
Yep.
can't tell in the gaming companies anymore. It's just, but that's what we know of, and that's about all I have for the news. If anybody else has anything they want to jump in, say
I
about
think
news.
that they were talking about doing a DLC year two
Oh
for
yeah,
also for the Siege.
yeah, Siege.
Talk, yeah. So yeah, that's definitely
Siege has
something they're
been
going to be
picking
working
up.
on.
Siege has been picking up steam. I mean, I'm glad for
Mhm.
them too. I'm glad to see it. They went outside the box with their match types. I mean, it's I know it's one of those sort of camper type games, but that's what it's made for. And
Rainbow Six Siege. Yeah.
okay, yeah, let's do some shout outs and butt plugs.
um, I just got two to my brother, who is a douchebag most times, but I love him.
Yeah.
And my big boy, 9, be 10 in a month or so. Big gamer, the reason it keeps me gaming. And
You mean
I'll
it's not
let
the
you tell him
games?
about the. No, it's my kid, Bubba. It keeps my wallet busy and my game desk full. So
Oh,
Yeah, man.
what was you going to say? Let me tell the
I'll let
other
you tell
stuff.
about our
Okay,
secret movie thing.
okay, and
Yeah, I definitely want to throw a shout out to Vernon Begley. Definitely if you like what you hear in the beginning of our podcast, the music there, "Dies or Ray" was that song that he written.
go
If you
to
wanna
Gore
YouTube,
Brew.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
Gore Burial. It's all one word. Gore then burial, one word. And search it up. And he's got all kinds of songs on there. And you may be hearing some more from him in the future. If you guys have any kind of requests or anything of types of music, maybe I can get him to write other stuff. He's pretty open-minded, cool cat. Again, his name is Vernon Begley, and it's Gore Burial. If you search for him on YouTube.
we may try to get him in on a couple episodes here too because he's a big gamer.
Yep, he was there with us on Gears One day one, so he's definitely he likes Gears. He's a big Destiny player. He's a big shooter guy, so absolutely.
Do you want to give any shout outs besides that?
Yeah, definitely shout out to Michael Hensley and Travis Terry. Those guys are awesome. Definitely want to do a shout out for those guys. Always there to support. They also got their podcast going. What was the name of it again? Animosity.
Pro Wrestling
Pro
Talk.
wrestling,
Pro
yeah,
Wrestling. Yeah, if you want to follow those guys on Twitter, what's their
pro
handle again?
wrestling talk.
Yes, Pro
Pro
Wrestling.
Wrestling Talk. Absolutely. Yeah,
And
those guys are
they got
awesome.
their own podcast. You can find them on iTunes. I think they still have a SoundCloud. You can find them on Podomatic also. Uh, if you want got any more from them before I jump in and say anything.
And then for all the listeners, guys, if you guys, we're just, definitely let you know we are back. We did have a little interruption there for a little bit, but we're back and we're back strong. Definitely, if you guys got any kind of questions or concerns about any other stuff that you'd like to hear from us, definitely let us know.
And give us your
We're,
opinions.
absolutely, your opinions.
And
If there was like something you didn't like, or maybe you had a different opinion on this, definitely let us know. We're pretty open-minded
Maybe we
guys.
missed something that you wanted to hear about. Like we talked about gears, but maybe we missed some little thing in there that you wanted to hear about.
Yeah.
Just hit
hashtag
us.
not my monkey.
Yep. Absolutely.
I just want to give a shout out to pretty much the same Michael Hensley. You can follow him on Twitter at MHShow21. Travis Turry. Let me find my phone so I can get his Twitter handle right, because for the past 4 episodes or 3 episodes, how many we've already on, I've been given the wrong Twitter handle, so that's never good. And they do giveaways, by the way. And here recently, they gave some pop figures away. What else have they gave away?
His Twitter handle is Travis Terry and the number two.
Okay,
Travis Terry two.
all right. Thank you. Dave. Okay, I want to give that shout out. I want to give out a shout out to VJ or Vernon. It's just easier that way. Shout out to the listeners. Thanks for coming and listening. Give a shout out to Bama Boy. I told you we'd be coming back soon, and we'll try to fix everything. And just hit us up on Twitter at I
It's
forgot.
been a minute.
It has been a minute. Hit us up on Twitter at Unlimited Up, and we also have
Dum dum
in
dum dum
in the works. We are going to do a movie podcast, and the name of it is, well, Fryman come up with the name. We had one name, and fucking it was already taken. It was I thought it was pretty good, and then Fryman come up with even better one. The Hills Have Podcast movie review, but you can also find us on Twitter there at The Hills Have Pod, and let us know what you want to hear us review, and we will cut this off here and say goodbye.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah!